For more on the dire humanitarian conditions in Gaza, let's bring in Steve Dorsey. He's a spokesman for the International Committee of the Red Cross. Steve, let me begin with the situation at Gaza's healthcare facilities. They've also come under attack. Many are in dire shape. Which ones are functioning? I mean, a lot of these facilities are going on bare minimum right now.
Yeah, not only bare minimum, but forced to close down. Most of the public hospitals operating in Gaza have shut down. Only just very few are left, including our own Red Cross Field Hospital in Rafah, in southern Gaza. And this is compounded by the fact that supplies, not only at our hospital, but at the other remaining healthcare facilities, are critically low. Not just supplies, but also fuel, even body bags. And part of the problem here is not just supplies and restrictions on supplies and equipment and healthcare aid getting in, but it's also these widespread evacuation orders that is hampering the ability of healthcare providers to do their jobs, not only in these hospitals, but to reach victims as well.
All right, so now let's move on to another dire situation. This one is the one that has made news the last few weeks. There are distribution sites where aid is giving to Palestinians that need it desperately. Hundreds, Steve, I know you know this, have been killed just trying to get basic supplies at these centers. What is happening, and what are the Israelis saying in terms of why they're being accused of opening fire on desperate Palestinians who need this aid?
Yeah, well, Azieh, we've seen the chaos, the levels of desperation, not only, of course, near these aid sites, but throughout the occupied territory. It's unimaginable right now. Families are fighting to do what they can to survive, to feed their children, to access clean water, to access shelter that's safe. And that's a serious problem. Our hospital in Rafah has treated upwards of 2,200 patients in the last month. Most of those patients tell us they were trying to reach a food distribution site. More than 129 patients arrived to our hospital already dead. We've activated 20 mass casualty incidents, which means that our hospital is completely overwhelmed. This is a 60-bed facility that at one point in June was facing a surge of 200 patients that needed critical emergency care. Our surgeons are working 18 hours a day. Stretchers are on the floor. Supplies, as I mentioned earlier, are critically low. And that just demonstrates the levels of desperation and chaos are existing. We don't know what's unfolding at these and near these distribution sites. We're only able to learn from what patients are telling us. We don't participate in this new aid mechanism.
What is this aid? Why is it so problematic, Steve?
Well, part of the problem, and we've discussed this before, is that we don't believe any type of aid should be militarized or politicized. These are a handful of distribution sites, primarily in southern Gaza. We're seeing these desperate people forced into small, chaotic areas. But people in the north, the disabled, the sick, they can barely travel with the dangers present to the few sites that did exist, and now they're being forced to reach some very dangerous areas, and that's something that we don't think should be provided to desperate people.
Yeah, getting aid and getting food that's desperately needed should not get you killed. And on top of everything else, the blistering heat wave.
Yeah, absolutely. The blistering heat wave is posing public health challenges for sure, but it's also posing sanitation problems, clean water problems, shelter problems. This is why we need a rapid deployment of a significant amount of aid that's not just food. But we also need the critical components to help rebuild Gaza's infrastructure, public healthcare facilities, sanitation, water facilities that millions of people are depending on.
All right, we'll have to leave it there. An important conversation. Steve Dorsey, thank you very much.
Thank you.